Welcome to History of Vocational Sciences, where we're going to learn how to understand where the Italians went. Woo! Influenza A. All right, sorry everyone. We are teaching pre-calculus trig identities, Unit 5 test. Here we go. Krusty Krabby burgers. Clowns. All right. Okay, so with this, I don't want you to graph triangles. I want you to use the trig identities, right? The reciprocal identities and the quotient identities are most important. So, for example, sine of x, we have the easy ones is just 1/2. Cosecant of x is the reciprocal of sine, which is 2/1, or that is just 2. Do we need a further explanation for that, or can we move on? Cosine of x is √3/2. Oh yeah, I forgot the negative. Thank you so much. Sorry, if it's negative, the secant. Remember, and if the sine is negative, then the cosecant is negative, just like we had on the unit circle. Now, secant is 2/√3. However, we can't have a square root in the denominator. I will mark it wrong if you do that. So we do √3/√3, which is 2 times √3, and √3 times √3 is just 3. So 2√3/3. Tangent of x, that's the quotient identity, which is sine over cosine. So I am going to do that over here, which is -1/2 over √3/2, which is -1/2 divided by √3/2, which is -1/2 times 2/√3. Is that too fast for you guys? I know we've done this a million times, so you're probably cool with that. If not, flocka flocka. Look at the negative, the 2's cancel out, so it's -1/√3. Let's keep that in mind. Problem is, we can't have a root as the denominator, so we do √3/√3, which is -√3/3. For tangent, -√3/3. The reciprocal is 3/√3. However, look at this. Do you guys see this? Instead of doing the reciprocal of this, can I just do the reciprocal of that since I changed it? And then I'll have the numerator as -√3/1. That kind of fixes that. So it is -√3 is cotangent. And that's all you got to do for that. You guys, this is going to be due today or out. Yeah, let's just make it due today. Just take a picture of it after we're done with this. I'll have you guys set it up. Just get it done. I'll make it due today. Just get it in. If you need more time, let me know. Okay, here we go. Let's do the next problem. Name the trig function that is equal to 1/sine x. You guys are allowed to use your gold sheet, right? You guys cool with that? So, what's the reciprocal of it? Cosecant of x. It's on your gold sheet. Let's move on. No problemo. Cosecant of x. Name the reciprocal of 1/tan x. No, name the function that's 1/tan x. Cotan x, right? I think we got this. I'm moving on. I think we got this. Cotan of x. And what is equal to cosine x over sine x? Cotangent, right? Tangent sine over cosine. This is cotangent of x. Moving on. Name the trig function that is equal to 1 plus tan squared x. You have to move things around. You want to talk about it? We cool? You guys see it in your sheet of paper here? You guys get secant squared x. You guys cool with that? Okay. You can use your golden sheet. All right, anyhow, pretty straightforward. Verify the trig function. Okay. Verify the trigonomic identity. Sine x times 1 plus cotangent x. What is 1 plus cotangent x equal to? Cosecant? So, I'm going to say sine x times cosecant squared x. Is that equal to cosecant x? Well, sine squared, let's put everything in, what should I do next? Put it in sine and cosine. Sine x times 1 over sine squared x. Let's write this as, I know you guys don't need this extra step, but I'm going to say sine x times 1 over, instead of sine squared x, sine x times sine x, right? Sine squared x is sine x times sine x. And you cancel out a sine x, and we get 1 over sine x, which is equal to cosecant x. Am I recording this? I am. Yes. Did it have influenza A on it?
Yeah, it was infected, so I had to throw it away. It was under all my tissues, so.
Talk to me after class. I think I have it on your Canvas. But let me see. All right. Anyway, that's it. This is just the answer in like skipping a lot of steps, right? Cosecant x 1 over sine squared x, and then those cancel out. Though. Are we cool? Okay, not bad. Sine squared x over tangent x equals cosecant x times secant x. Go back? Go back? Sure. Do you want me to go back here or go back here?
Yeah.
Sure. Okay. Jackson, I'm going to talk to you since you're asking. Is that cool? I don't even know where you're confused at. Do you understand that this equals that? Okay, look at your yellow sheet. And what's the okay, did we do this one?
No.
Secant squared x is what? Let's put everything, so let's make this equal this. Let's make everything sine and cosine here. Secant is what? 1 over cosine squared x all over tangent is sine x over cosine x, right? And then we write it as a division, then we write it as a multiplication. 1 over cosine squared x divided by sine x over cosine x, which equals 1 over cosine squared x times cosine x over sine x. Now, I don't know. I don't need to do this step, but I'm going to do it anyway. Cosine squared x is cosine x times cosine x times cosine x over sine x, and the cosines cancel out. This becomes 1 if it cancels out, so it's 1 over cosine is secant x, 1 over sine is cosecant x, which is that. You guys feeling okay with this test?
No.
Is this an easy class?
Not at all.
Is it a, I don't know.
Once you understand it, it's not that hard.
If you miss a week, it's kind of hard.
Yeah. I think I deserve an extra week. What if it's excused? Like,
David, let's talk after class, after I'm done with this.
that's fine. I'll take the test tomorrow or whenever it is.
Let's talk after class. You don't want to talk to me?
No, I have to go. My friend gives me.
Not after class, after I'm done with this lesson.
Oh, okay. Alright.
You don't want to hang out with me?
I can't. My friend takes me home and he leaves right after school.
Oh,
Last time he left me and he made me run to the corner.
really? What do you mean run to the corner?
Like he already had left the school.
What you want to do is you want to add the tan x plus the cotan x. Okay? So let's put everything in sine and cosine. So tan x is sine x over cosine x plus cotan x is cosine x over sine x. Now what I'm going to do is we need to add these. We need a common denominator. So my common denominator, this has cosine, this has sine. Now I have a feeling I'm going to have to show you guys this with fractions. But what I can do is I can multiply this by, if you guys pretend like you're interested in this, that'd be great. This would be, multiply this by cosine x, and then multiply this times cosine x. And then for this to be a common denominator, what do I need to multiply this side by? Sine x. Why? Why did I do that? This is sine x. Because now I multiply this by sine and cosine. I multiply this by sine and cosine. I have a common denominator of sine x times cosine x. I'll leave that like that. This will be sine squared x plus cosine squared x. Any questions on how I got that? I'll keep going. And then if you have questions, I'll pause the video, see if you have questions. But what is sine squared x plus cosine squared x?
1.
It's equal to 1. So it's going to be 1 over sine x cosine x, which another way I can write it is 1 over sine x plus, I'm sorry, not plus, 1 over sine x times 1 over cosine x. I can split it up like that, which is equal to what? Cosecant secant, which is what our answer is, except in a different order. Cosecant x, secant x. Now I can switch it, which is going to be also equal to secant x times cosecant x. Oh, that's terrible. Let me write it better. Secant x times cosecant x. There, that looks better. pause this. This one's pretty simple. This is just like solving a regular equation. You need your unit circle here for this. As long as it's from 0 to 2 pi, you're going to look at your unit circle because it can go on forever. But you'll see what I mean here for a second. Let's just solve for sine of x. So we do our little thing here. We want to get sine of x by itself. So we add 1 on both sides. 2 sine of x equals 1. To get sine of x by itself, I divide by 2. Sine of x equals 1/2. I need to solve for x. So to figure out what that is, remember, sine is y. Cosine is x. So you look at your unit circle, where does sine of x equal 1/2? So I look for 1/2 in the, you look for 1/2 in the unit circle for the y, right? Where do you guys see that? I see it at pi over 6. And it is 30 degrees, but since this is in 2 pi, I'm going to leave it. So it's one of them I see on the unit circle right here. I have root 3 over 2 and 1/2. And I see that that is pi over 6. So that is one of my answers. But there's another spot where y equals 1/2, which is 5 pi over 6.
Adrian, help me out on that one.
So I go negative root 3 over 2 times 1/2. And then this is 5 pi over 6, which is 5 pi over 6. And those are your two answers. You're going to have 2. Now, we can go around again at another 2 pi, but it says this says only go around the circle once. So this means, what this means is anything that's on the circle. And you just stop at that. Okay, but pretty straightforward. You just kind of solve it and look for the sine of 1/2. Or sine of x equals 1/2. So pi over 6 and 5 pi over 6. All right. Cosine of x plus 1 equals negative cosine of x. This one is pretty easy if you know what to do. Actually, I should pause. This one's pretty easy if you know what to do. What I would do is, because I have 2 cosines here, it's kind of like saying this. Let's do Godzilla time. If I say x plus 1 equals negative x, I got 2 x's. What would I do? I would get rid of this x and add x on both sides and say 2x plus 1 equals, what goes on this side? 0. But you see how I did that? I could do the same thing with negative cosine of x and add cosine of x over there. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to add cosine of x over here, and then I'm going to add cosine of x over here. And now I have one cosine of x and another cosine of x. What do I got? How many cosine of x's do I got? 2 cosine of x plus 1 equals 0. Make sure you put that 0 there, and then we can solve it the same way we solve for sine of x. Subtract 1. I got 2 cosine of x equals negative 1. Divide by 2, and I get cosine of x equals negative 1/2. And then, of course, you look, where's negative 1/2 for x? Because cosine is x. And I got 4 pi over 3. And I think there's another one. What's the other one? 2 pi over 3. And those are your two answers. Did you guys get those right on the group test initially? Wow, good. I thought those were hard, especially that one. I thought it was, but not bad. You guys are doing great. Can I move on? Are there any questions? I'm getting distracted here. Okay, about Josh's shoes. Okay, 2 pi over 3 and 4 pi over 3. Did someone say it's hot as the F word? I can turn it down if you're hot. Is someone hot?
I'm always.
Is that you, David? Are you hot?
Josh is hot. Josh is really hot.
Okay, find the exact value of cosine pi over 12. Okay. This we are going to use the sum and difference formulas, right? This allows us, if we want the exact value, it means we have to use the unit circle. We want to use the exact value. The problem is we don't have pi over 12, right? But I know that pi over 3 minus pi over 4 equals pi over 12. Did I put that in your little question there? Okay. I think so. But be ready if there's not. I can't remember. It's been a while since I looked at it. So, cosine of pi over 12 is equal to the cosine of pi over 3 minus pi over 4. If you don't believe me, pi over 3 plus pi over 4 needs a common denominator of 12. So I multiply this side by 3 over 3, this side by 4 over 4. 4 pi over 12 plus 3 pi over 12 equals 7 pi over 12. Oh, it's subtraction though. Rewind. Sorry, minus 4 pi over 12 minus 3 pi over 12 is 1 pi over 12. So it does equal, right? You guys with me there? Anyhow, let's erase this. Will that erase? I don't know. I need a better eraser. Bless you.
Bless you.
Bless you. Man, oh my God. Okay. This is going to be the cosine of A minus B, right? Or U minus B is the same as cosine of A times cosine of B plus sine of A times sine of B. So, cosine of A minus cosine of B, cosine of A minus B is equal to, sorry, I want to erase this. I meant to say, but you guys see where I got the sum and difference formula? Cosine of A times cosine of B is going to be now cosine of pi over 3 minus pi over 4 times cosine of pi over 3 times cosine of pi over 4, cosine of A over B, cosine of A times B, plus sine of pi over 3 times sine of pi over 4, right? I'm just plugging into the equations, right? And then now you got to look at your unit circle. Cosine of pi over 3 is, what is it? 1/2 times cosine of pi over 4, which is root 2 over 2, plus sine of pi over 3, which is root 3 over 2, times sine of pi over 4, which is root 2 over 2. Now, am I going too fast? I just get those from the unit circle. Now I just multiply. When you multiply fractions, you don't need a common denominator. So it's 1 times root 2 is root 2 over 2 times 2 is 4. Plus, I can multiply the radicals. Root 3 times root 2 is root 6 over 4. But I cannot add the radicals. I got a common denominator, so I leave it as root 2 plus root 6 over 4. And that is your answer. All right, I'm moving on. Okay, there it is. Is that what I said? Root 2 plus 6 over 4? Is that what I said the answer was?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Just want to make sure I'm right. So that's the answer, right? Okay, so you guys remember on your, like what Danielle was asking, the sign on the top goes with the sign on the top, and the sign on the bottom goes with the sign on the bottom. They just didn't have a lot of room, so they just wrote it all together. So if that's confusing, come talk to me after class if you need a direct explanation. So here's the same thing, except this one gives us the plus and minus. So we don't have to figure it out, right? So David, please. So now, again, am I playing this? Danielle, just so you know, it's sine of A plus B. So I'm going to do A and B instead of U and B. So sine of A plus B. Now I'm looking at my chart and see all the pluses on top. Then I'm going to say sine of A times cosine of B. And I look what's on top. It's a plus. So you get it right. Okay. Should I just stop? Okay. Sine of B cosine of A. Okay, so I just use that. And so I'm going to say sine of pi over 4 plus pi over 6 equals sine of pi over 4 times cosine pi over 6 plus sine pi over 6 cosine pi over 4. Then you got to break out your unit circle. Sine of pi over 4 is root 2 over 2 times cosine pi over 6. Cosine pi over 6 is root 3 over 2 plus sine of pi over 6 is 1/2 times cosine pi over 4 is root 2 over 2, and then we multiply. Root 6 over 4 plus root 2 over 2 equals root 2 over, root 2 over 4, which equals root 6 plus root 2 over 4. And we just leave it like that because you cannot simplify it anymore. Which is the same as 1 and 4, except for adding instead of subtracting, and I think the root 6 comes first. I can't remember. But anyway, that doesn't matter that they're the same. It just matters that you know how to plug them in and what to use. Oh, I did not say, this should have said on your test, it should say, oh no, it's the exact values. We're good. That's good. We're good. Okay, are there any questions on this? All right, moving on. Last one. Okay. Now, find the exact value of sine 2 of u given the double angle formula. So I have sine of u as 4/5. Now, this tells me where my u is, because it could be 4/5. I don't know what's negative and what's positive, right? So first of all, let's talk about let's see, how should I do this? Let's talk about the double angle formula. Let's do that first, then we'll talk about this next, right? Do you guys see the double angle formula on your thing? On your golden sheet? The double angle formula of sine of 2u. Now, we're doing sine of 2u. There's also cosine of 2u that you might need to know how to do. There's also tangent of 2u. I might give you something different on the test. Not telling you what. Cosine. So sine of 2u equals 2 sine u, 2 sine u cosine u, right? Now, what this is telling me, so this is the double angle formula. Let's think about this, where u is between 0 and pi over 2. Why do we need to know this? Well, let's draw a picture. As you guys know, pi over 2 is here and 0 is here. That means that this is somewhere over here. What that means is if I have sine of u, I'm going to draw my triangle. Here's my u. Sine is opposite over adjacent. I'm sorry, opposite over hypotenuse. I don't know what my adjacent is. Some of you know this because you know what type of triangle it is. What's the length of this? 3. Now we could do a squared plus b squared equals c squared. We'll still get 3. But why is it important that I know that it's in this quadrant? Tells me what numbers are negative. Should this be a positive 3 or a negative 3? Positive, because I'm going this direction. So I know my answers are going to be positive. If you put the wrong sign, I am taking points off at least half. Okay? So make sure you know where it's at. It's very important that you know where it's at. You can draw a little triangle picture. This one's easy because guess what? It's all positive. So on the test, you might get a negative. Anyhow, now that we know all that, the double angle formula, sine of 2u is equal to 2 times sine of u, actually times cosine of u, 2, sorry, I just rewrote everything. What is sine of u?
4 over 5.
Sine of u is 4 over 5, which we have. Sine of u is 4 over 5. What is cosine of u now? 3 over 5. Adjacent over hypotenuse, 3 over 5, which equals, let's multiply these first. 2 times 4 is 8. 1 times 5 is 5. Times 3 over 5, right? 8. 1 times 5 is 5. So it's 8 over 5 times 3 over 5, which is what? Positive 24 over 25. And that is your answer. Is that a bit much?